Hey guys, Weep here. Today we're going to do a video on Dragonraja, 10 noob mistakes you want to avoid. So the number one mistake that I personally believe that people make are server choices. So let's click on the server here, and if we go down to, let's go to NA. You'll see that there's currently 7 servers, and you'll see that the majority of them are full as it's all red. What I would recommend is I would try joining a server even if it says full. For example, I would try to join Odin or Valhalla. The reason I say this is because what happens is a new player will come into the game and they'll see, well, I want to go to a new server because I want to play with people around my level, or I want to be more powerful, or whatever else. If you haven't already played the game before, you're not going to be the most powerful on a server, so that's kind of pointless. If you join a later server, eventually that server may become dead, so that's not something you want to happen either. Now, people don't join the first or second server because they don't want to be too far behind. However, there is a catch-up account of the servers for the average level of the server. What I mean by this is, let's say for example, the average person on Odin about now would be about level 50. I spent 30 minutes playing this game from level 1 and I got up to level 45. Without even trying, without doing my dungeons, and just doing some dailies and stuff that I'm aware of that are good XP. And the highest people in the server are about 55. So you're like 1 day's XP behind because of all the XP you were given because of the average server level. Due to this, I recommend joining one of the earlier servers so you can get the XP bonus to get up to the content that you want to play and get into the game faster rather than going on a new server and then having to do it slower. Okay, so let's go into the Odin server. Okay, so the next thing that I would like to talk about would be the items that you don't pick up. So what I mean by this is that on your screen sometimes, which will hopefully appear in a moment, you will get interface like right here, there will be like a red envelope, or right here there will be a duck, and it'll say like, click here. You want to click on this fast because the duck means it's an event, and the envelope basically, it sends out rewards to everybody. But if you're too late on clicking the envelope, you don't get the rewards. The rewards may not seem very great when you get them because it's usually gold, but sometimes you get other items which upgrade your allies or your pets and other stuff. So as soon as you see this little red envelope, don't ignore it. It can be a little bit annoying to click it, but as soon as you see it, click that. Get those items because there's so many red envelopes that the items really do stack up and make quite a considerable difference. Okay, next up is join a club. Yes, I know. You don't want to join a club. Nobody wants to join a club because so many people like to play solo. However, in this game, there's so many advantages to a club that you kind of need to. So if you open up the club menu down here, so I am the owner of my club, so we're able to see everything. But if you go down to buildings and the stuff like here, like these buildings will boost your base stats. And you have like a donation and a store where you can buy items which you can use to boost your stats and other stuff as well. But you also have a ton of events in here that you get, not only that's XP that's not connected to your solo XP, so you can level up faster or catch up if you're behind, but it also can give you really good rewards. And the only way to be able to do these is if you're in an active club. A good way to find if a club is active is if you join for a day or two and you find that perhaps 5 to 10 people in their entire guild does the activities. That probably means it's not a very active club, so honestly I would get out of it pretty quickly. You don't have to do all these because some of these are PvP related, but some of these are really good XP and really good items. Not only that, but it helps the club overall, so it's something that you really want to join. The club interface and activities in this game are much better than most other MMOs that I have experienced up to this point. Okay, number 4 would be doing your activities, specifically your career. So if you go to your event and go down to your career, you'll see cuisines and superstar. So when you join one, which I, for example, have joined cooking, if you go into food here, you're going to see a vitality bar. Now don't get this confused with the vitality that you get for doing activities. When you do an activity like a dungeon, you get vitality, but that vitality for the dungeon is in here. And that's this vitality here. That is different vitality from your cooking vitality. So your cooking vitality or your superstar vitality is used to basically obtain different materials and whatnot. It's used basically to cook or do your superstar activities. So as soon as you hit level 40, make sure you open this up and have a look through them, because you want to start doing this because it can earn you more money, and we'll talk more about that in another video, but it's definitely something that you want to look into. Number 5 would be social interaction. Yes, I know, I already said join a club and now I'm telling you to be social. What am I thinking? I know. So if you go to here and go to social and you open up here, you have a couple of things that you can do. So flower tickets, for example, people will send you flowers and you'll get popularity and you go towards opening up your gift. You're also able to send other flowers out. There are a couple of things you can also do in here as well. For example, if you go under contacts and click on somebody, you can actually send them gifts. And for example, one of the things that you can do with your vitality is that if you open up your interface, go to vitality, and you can make a grimoire. A grimoire, you'll get a different one for depending on whatever class you are. So you need friends of other classes and get them to send you their grimoires that they buy, and you trade them. And when you get all the grimoires, you can go trade it in for XP and rewards. So this is just another way of getting XP just by using the social function. Here's that red envelope that I told you about earlier. And there we go, we got an energy crystal, so that was definitely well worth clicking, so make sure you do that. Okay, so next up would be not focusing on the core. So many people have asked me about this, and a lot of people don't seem to understand the basics. So the core is basically just where you put gems in, which upgrades your rating. The main thing that you want to keep in mind though, is that you'll notice the levels, say level 3, level 3, level 2. You want to raise the average level of the gems up. So you might be asking, well, how do I get more gems? There's a couple of ways you can do this. The main way would be coming from dailies, because that's where they come from in general. And the second way is that you can buy them off other people's player stores. Those are the main ways to obtain them. So if you go down to view, so you see down here, next gem level, all gems reach level 5, and you get these stats and unlocks the X-Tyrant's Eyes activation requirement. Up here, you'll see when all gems reach level 10, you can activate the weapon River Strike. So don't worry if you don't necessarily have all the best stats for your class. Aim more for the effect, in my opinion, and see if it works out for you. Then you can work on the exact gems that you need later. So when you go through your dailies and you have a look at which ones can give you gems, make sure that you knock them out every day, because it really is important to do it. And there's another envelope. Okay, so next up would be gear battle power. So this one I am personally guilty of. So let's open up. Alright, so hopefully this has... Okay, so you'll see here that the rating on the left is 747. And the rating over here is 469. This is a level 50 blue, this is a level 40 purple. So I cannot put these stats on here because this is a higher level. However, because I've transferred stats from other gear onto this 40, it has all these good stats. That's why its rating so high. And I probably wouldn't trade this because the rating is significantly different. But let's say, for example, this was 469 and this was, say, 550 rating. If you put on the level 50, it won't automatically do this because the rating's higher. But if you put on the 50 and then transfer the stuff off the 40 onto the 50, the 50 will probably end up with like 650 or 700 rating. It wouldn't be at like 520 like I mentioned earlier. The reason being is because this rating's so high because of the random stats that transfer to it. It has nice basic stats here, which are slightly higher as you can see, but overall it's better to go the higher piece unless there is a significant difference. Something else to keep in mind though is that having full purple activates the effect down the bottom, so you kind of need to pay attention. Generally I would go with a higher level, but if you're close to full purple or is significantly higher, go for the purple piece instead. Okay, so next up is buffs. I've mentioned buffs before. So if you open up your interface and go down to buffs, you have in here Ravenous and Frigid. For example, you receive 8% increased damage and speed is reduced by 8%. Many people didn't seem to understand this, and I got many questions about this on Discord. You basically just go and buy food off the marketplace or other people. You can go create your own food, or you can just go buy a drink from a vendor. It's really not that hard to fill it, but make sure that you do it because there is a lot of various effects. Like for example, when you do modeling, you can get too hot and you'll lose 20% XP because you didn't drink a drink to refresh you for 4 hours before you did it. So pay special attention to this because it really will slow you down if you don't. Okay, number 10, managing interfaces. Now this one's going to sound a little bit weird, but a lot of people are messing it up when I'm in their party, and quite frankly, it's extremely annoying. So when you open up your event page, you're going to see things like dragon hunting, devil awake, and other things, and you're not actually going to know where the NPCs necessarily are. What some party leaders do is they queue up for dragon hunting and they can't find the NPC, so they send you into devil awake or something else that you don't actually need to go into. Very, very annoying. So a way to do this is to open up the interface and hit join. And when you're not in a party, it'll take you straight to the NPC. So now you're at the correct NPC. I would generally suggest leading a party because leading a party does give you rewards, but we won't talk about that here. So if you open up your interface here, your party interface, and hit create, you're now in a party. Then you close that and hit event, then hit match. It'll ask you if you want to queue up as the squad leader. So you hit yes. And then now people are going to come to your party. Now this is where a lot of people mess up. They don't know where to go. You hit event again, and once you have a maximum amount of people, just hit join. And it will go straight to the NPC. You hit dragon hunting and you go in. So follow those and instructions and you should be able to get into and lead any of the parties without too much hassle. Okay, that covers my 10 mistakes to avoid in Dragonraja. Hopefully these tips alongside my 10 things I wish I knew help you get into the game and have a productive start to the game. Thanks for watching guys. Peace.